Hey Dan, welcome to the Community Living Golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that go ahead and play on through a few times. We'll put you back in your address position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, looks really good. You get your spine straight, not a tilt. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally out in front of you. Club works out to the ball, so really good posture here. Also in association with good posture, you're also achieving a good balance, so it looks great. Next thing we want to observe is your alignment. Now your feet are in a bit of a closed stance. And theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of convergence. So based on that, you're set up to hit the ball out towards the right rough. And obviously we know that the center of the fairway is back over here, so we'd have to see some form of compensation in your golf swing. Now, one of the things I can see, even though your feet are closed, your knees aren't as closed as your feet, and then your hips are slightly less closed. And then your forearms and your shoulders are going exactly where we sort of want to hit the golf ball. So feet are in a little bit of a shut position, but you know, the upper body is in a pretty decent position, and your knees and hips aren't as closed as your feet. So the other thing I look at this point in time is where's your club face, and your club face looks like it's a bit more over here in this direction, and not sort of aiming out where we had your feet. So this setup's okay. I mean, you can still hit some pretty solid shots, swinging the club on plane, even with your feet a little bit closed like this. But we still might see a little bit of a compensation just due to the fact that you definitely are aimed a little bit out to the right. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Brandt Snedeker. And we'll pull them up on the left side of the screen. We can see on both sides that we have some color-coded lines here, just to use as a reference point as it pertains to swing plane. So as Brandt Snedeker draws the golf club back here, we can see it creates good shoulder rotation, brings the arms and hands back as well as the club. Club's coming back right on plane, directly along the red line. From here, he's going to start to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, transitioning the club head from below to above his hands, and then working the club from red up to yellow. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we've got the left arm and the club situated on the yellow line. We have full shoulder rotation. We do all this about a very stable right leg with the weight on the inside part of the right foot. At this point in time, hopefully you can sort of see the difference in where the feet are going between you and Snedeker, and that's what I mean by having your feet a little bit closed. Anyways, as you initiate your takeaway, you got great shoulder rotation, drawing your hands and arms back as well as the club. The club is camouflaged right on perfect swing plane here, so you really can't bring the golf club back any better. As you continue to rotate here, excellent position. You start to get some wrist hinge into play, phenomenal. We work that golf club to the top, and when you finally set the golf club at the top, it geometrically looks outstanding. Lacking a little bit in wrist hinge, but nothing major at all. So your arm geometry looks great relative to your core. Your club looks great relative to your arms. You got good turn. You create that rotation on the spinal axis you achieved at address with your posture. Stable right side. It's a really good looking backswing. As we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind the core and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from yellow back down onto red. And that's exactly what we see here with Brandt Snedeker. The golf club has returned right back to being on plane. The other thing we want to point out at this stage is a relationship between the lead forearm and the club. Refer to this as the backwards check mark, and it simply means that the club head is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone. Therefore, he's retaining angle, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone getting the club to return back to plane, which is ultimately also going to allow us to hit a straight golf shot. With you, we're going to watch you initiate your transition back into the ball. Superb move, moving your weight from your right foot to your left. Golf club is moving from yellow back onto red. I mean, it really can't be any better. So this is great. So here's your lead forearm. Here's your golf club. You've got your backwards check mark, and we've got the golf club returning back to plane. So that's just that's ideal. Now the only issue is that when we swing a golf club down on plane, again, we have the ability to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment. So here's Snedeker with his feet running out here. Again, club face is supposed to run parallel to the feet. Parallel lines on camera have an appearance of converging. So he's basically set up to hit the center of the fairway. So with his club coming into the golf ball from an on-plane position here, this is what's going to allow him to hit the ball straight in accordance to that good alignment, just assuming that he's got a good grip and the club face squares up. So the three things we need in order to hit a straight golf shot are: we have to aim well, feet running parallel to the target line, those yellow lines. Club comes down on plane, hits the red line, tracks into the ball from the red line, and as long as that club face squares up, that ball's shooting down that yellow target line and going directly at the target. And that's exactly what we see. Now, on camera, a golf shot will always look like it goes a little right of the actual target due to refraction angle. So if you imagine this yellow line was on the ground, because the ball is in the air, there's a refraction angle. So the ball always has an appearance it's a little bit right of the target line. Okay? With you, we're coming into the ball. Sorry, I missed the frame here. Let's come back down. So it actually drops down to here. But really, we can just connect the dots and we know that the golf club was following right into plane. So my only issue with this is that, again, we had mentioned that your feet are aimed out to the right. Club face is supposed to run parallel to the feet. So theoretically, we're aimed out here. So based on that alignment and coming in on plane, you should hit the ball at yellow if the club face squares up. What we see is your club face shuts down. See how close that club face gets? So it stops the ball from going out to the right where you're aimed, gets the ball going back towards the intended target. Now we see that the intended target, center of the fairway, is over here, but we see the golf ball sort of taking off there. And again, your original alignment, oops, sorry, I wanted to change that color. Ball's taken off there, and your original alignment was out here. Okay, so you're creating a bit of an offset there. So you're not getting the ball tracking out to where you're aimed. Club face shut down. It's going down red, and then obviously it probably has a little bit of right to left spin, and then obviously we can get that ball sort of drawing back towards the intended target. So as long as that timing's on, that ball will find the center of the fairway for sure. As you come through to a really nice finishing position. It's a great looking golf swing. I mean, super athletic ability, looks great. Your hands come back, your hands fire through. Your core works well, you coil back, uncoil through. You've got a good finishing position because you're creating good footwork through to the finish. One thing I would just suggest is when you come through the finish, you look like you're getting ready to lose your balance, you're falling towards the ball. Reason being is when you come through and you get up on the toe of your right foot, when you finish, you should finish with your weight in the heel of the left foot. Right now you're finishing with the weight on the toes of your left foot, and that's what's causing you to fall in this direction a bit. Okay, so just learn, if you want to be balanced when you're done, the weight needs to finish in the heel of the left foot. That's all. Again, from here, I mean, your downswing plane is perfect. You're aimed a little out to the right. You do overuse that club face through the hitting zone to prevent it from going to the right, and you're hitting what I'm going to basically say are just subtle sort of smother pulls that go on line. So again, if the club face is in perfect position, you're going to hit great golf shots. If the club face stays a little open, you will block the ball to the right because that's where you're aimed. If the club face happens to close too much, then you'll draw it a little too far to the left. So that's the only issue with the fact that your alignment's a bit off, because it really comes down to the three most important things in being consistent and hitting straight golf shots are good aim, good downswing plane, and good club face. Based on your feet, you're aiming out to the right. Downswing plane is perfect, and then through impact, your grip appears to be good, but you definitely get that club face shutting down pretty aggressively. Okay? Anyways, things look great. If at any point in time you want to fine-tune any of these things, certainly feel free to reach out. All of my contact information is at the end of the video. I'm also over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. And if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all and you're looking for a unique gift to provide to the participants, again, certainly feel free to contact me and we can discuss my services for these events. Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video, and hope you have a great summer and maybe might hear from you. Take care.